Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Arkansas Football Recruiting Report with Otis Kirk. That's Otis Kirk. I'm Evan Kamiko. We are so excited to be joined by a special guest. That's Hugh Smith joining the show, offensive lineman in the class of 2026. Hugh, you're committed to Arkansas. First of all, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Sir, thank you all for having me.
Yeah, excited to get to talk to you. Excited to get to learn a little bit about you. Was reading up on, your path to Arkansas this morning, your relationship with Eric Mateos. We'll get into all of that. But first and foremost, I want to go back to the beginning. When did you fall in love with football? When was the moment you knew this was the sport you wanted to play for a very long time?
Honestly, it was when I was I'm gonna say like 3. I was like watching the Texans and I was watching like JJ Watt play, and I was like, man, I want to do that. I want to do what he does. We're not DN, but yeah, I fell in love with that when I was like 3 years old, and ever since then that's been my goal. Um, yeah.
That's awesome. And JJ Watt is one of the most fun players to watch. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I don't blame you, especially being from the Houston area and looking up to him. He's somebody that I looked up to, and I wasn't even from anywhere close to Houston. He was just fun to watch when he was in
Oh yeah.
Wisconsin. So curious, let's talk about kind of high school and you getting to Arkansas. You spoke before about, your relationship with Eric Mateos. You guys are very close. He was recruiting you back when he was at Baylor. When he left Baylor to went to Arkansas, what was the conversations like with him that, him trying to get you to also now go to Arkansas?
So I'm trying to think. It was that off season he went to Arkansas. I hadn't talked to him in like a few months. Because I was a sophomore. They can't text and all that stuff. So when he moved, he DM'd me on Twitter and saying, "Hey, I'm at Arkansas now, and I want to stay in touch and all that, and I want to keep recruiting." And I was like, "Well, great. I mean, yeah, I love Arkansas. I mean, family's been here. We always love visiting. It's such a beautiful place, and I've always liked Arkansas. So
And there you were, and you had a lot of offers. Could have gone to Kansas, Houston, one of them your hometown college. Why the Hill? What
mhm.
about Sam Pittman when you got past Eric Mateos and got to meet the rest of the recruiting staff? What was it about Arkansas specifically that made you want to come here?
Well, with Coach Pittman, I love all the stuff he has to offer, especially as an O lineman. Looking at his past and all the success he's had with when he was at Arkansas, I think 10 years ago, and all of the success he's had with his GAs. Like I think every GA is that he's coached is in the NFL, another college coach. And for me, it was about development because my goal is to be in the NFL. So that's the big difference from everyone else that Arkansas had was the development that they could give me.
I'll ask two more, then turn it over to Otis. We'll go to a quick break first, but my second to last question is: did you have any offensive linemen when you decided that that was the position you want to play that you looked up to, that you'd watch a lot of tape of?
Um, well, this one's kind of the most common one for Arkansas. It was Brandon Burlsworth. Love watching his tape, and he really just kind of had the character and kind of the thing I wanted to look up to and be when I was watching his film and stuff.
And the last question I'll ask before we go to break is, when you talk about Arkansas and just you've already talked about the area, what excites you about being able to come up here and play in front of the fans?
Oh, just how dedicated they are, man. That's best fan base I've been around. Like we've been to basketball games, baseball games, and some football games that I haven't seen more dedicated fans anywhere I've been. Um, Such great fans, and they're fun to be around, and I'm excited to play for them.
Absolutely. It's going to be an exciting time. We'll talk more about the class and a little bit more about you. That's coming up after the break. Stick around. The Arkansas Football Recruiting Report rolls on after this. Welcome back into the show. We're joined by Hugh Smith. As always, he was with us earlier. He stays with us right now. Otis, I'll turn it over to you. What do you got for Hugh?
You just first thank you again for coming on the show today, man. Really appreciate it. Uh, did you have any family that was ties to Arkansas? I mean, before you started visiting, I know that your family likes Arkansas, but did you have family that lived in Arkansas and have ties to the state?
Yes. So actually, it's my grandparents. They grew up in Southern Arkansas, so
Okay.
there was no ties to the university, but that's where they grew up. And I still have cousins that are there now. They live close to Malvern. I don't know if you know
Okay.
what that is. So um, those are really the ties that I have pretty much to Arkansas.
All right.
Um,
I've got cousins in Malvern too. Maybe they know each other.
they probably
Uh,
do.
That's not a big town. Just
Mhm.
for someone that hasn't seen you play, even hadn't watched your video or anything. I know not everybody can see live, but your videos are. But if they haven't seen, what do you do well? Why did all these schools, including Arkansas, offer you and recruit you so hard? You
So for me, it'd be my pass protection. I mean, I've allowed 0 sacks 2 years starting on varsity. That and then I'm very consistent. I mean, you can watch my tape. I mean, I rarely make a mistake or miss a block, and I'm aggressive, and I mean, no one's gonna touch the quarterback or touch the running back or any of that, and I'm always gonna make a hold for the quarterback or running back to run. Yeah.
you said you rarely make a mistake. Could that be tied to that academic honor you got the other day? I mean, you
Yeah.
got hit with a great academic honor. I mean, your GPA was about twice what mine was. Talk about just your academic stuff and just getting awards for not just football but academics, which in big grand scheme of things probably bigger than football.
Yeah, so, for academic stuff, that's been, like, my mom. She's always been, e schools first, then we do football, so and, she's always been like, that's the honestly, it might be bigger than football. It's because we don't have football forever. We gotta do
Right.
stuff after it. So, she's always been big about academics and keeping my grades up and taking AP classes, but yeah, all that credit goes to her, really.
Just do you when you've come up, do you have you met any of the current players? If so, who kind of stood out to you, or who maybe had some good words to say to you? Was any of them? Did you get to meet any of them?
I did, but I forgot his name. The ones that I was watching that I remember was I think it's Shaq, the transfer from Oregon.
Yeah,
Jack
yeah,
McCroy.
yeah.
Yeah,
McCroy, yeah,
yeah, he looked really good. Um,
yeah.
and then some of the freshmen, Coach Mateo talked about him. One from Argyle, and I forgot where the other one was from, but they looked really good too. And I'm
Shaq,
just excited to get up there.
Shaq, the biggest offensive lineman you've ever seen, man.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yes,
mean,
sir, yeah,
that kid's big. I'm glad I
he
don't have to
is.
beat him. Just just what do you think about the offensive line? I mean, Mateus had a good one at Baylor.
Mhm.
He did well here. He subbed for Sam when he went to Georgia for the Liberty Bowl. Arkansas beat Kansas State, I believe it was, not Kansas. I believe it's Kansas State in the Liberty Bowl that year. And just he's had a good offensive line everywhere he's been. And he feels like this is going to be the best offensive line they've had at Arkansas, the one coming up in 20 this fall. Just talk about how Mateus develops offensive. I know you hit on that a little bit, but just his offensive line in general.
Um, well, honestly, like the big thing I see is how they're all like willing to put in the work and be the like really want to be the best. And they're all together is like their chemistry is really good. Like and like Coach Mateos will even talk about that. Like that's what he wants. He wants guys that are together. And the thing he told me about this recruiting class, he wants guys that can play everywhere. So if one guy gets hurt, he can put another guy. He wouldn't have to worry at all. So that's what I really like about his offensive line and how he thinks about it.
You led perfectly into my next question. I was going to ask you about that playing everywhere because they're big on cross training. Sam
Mhm.
started that when COVID hit because they were short on players.
Yeah.
So my next question was, what positions have they talked to you about learning to play when you get here?
Well, he hasn't like specifically told me like which ones, but he thinks I can play anywhere.
Yeah,
I mean anywhere on there. He thinks I can play center. I could play guard, but um I'm thinking I'll probably start a tackle and if something happens, I'm fine with playing anywhere.
okay.
So
That
I'm
was
down for anything.
Yeah, that was something I was wondering about because I know you're listed at tackle and everything. I know you play tackle, but I do know what you just said. They're big on cross
Yeah.
training and at least having people prepared whether they ever play that other position or not.
Mm.
Just how are you a midterm graduate or will you graduate in the spring next year?
I'll graduate in the spring next year. Uh,
Okay,
we were
okay,
thinking about that, but then we just ended up saying, no, we'll just graduate in the spring.
yeah, all right, that's good. Just you just the class in general that you're a member of, they got 14 commitments. How do you feel about it? I mean, who's have you talked? Do you talk to any of the other commitments? Do you
I
guys
do
have
actually.
any?
I talked to Tucker Young
Yeah,
talked to him a little bit. Good dude.
Yeah.
Uh, he's really the only one I've talked to, but I'm actually
Okay.
really excited about this class, especially at my school, Robert Haynes. He's
Yeah.
also committed, and that's really exciting to have a buddy from home.
We had Tucker on this show too after he committed. He came on. He did a good job too, just like you are. But yeah, Robert Haynes is a really speedy receiver. What's Arkansas getting in him? We've all know about the speed, but what else are they just getting? What kind of guy is he in the locker room and stuff?
Oh, he's a good guy. He's a great guy in the locker room. He's funny. A lot of personality, and he'll always look out for you. He's for a teammate. That's what he's done with me. I mean, that's what I do with him. But just a great dude, and he's reliable. Um, willing to do anything the coaches tell him.
Evan, you got some more?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll definitely jump back in. Hugh, I'm curious. You kind of touched on it earlier about having prior knowledge of Arkansas, coming up here a little bit. Do you have any memories of any Arkansas games when you were younger, and moments that you were like, wow, this is kind of one of the cooler places that I could potentially go to?
Well, actually, it was last year because I was in the big recruiting was then, and we were watching college football, and they played Tennessee.
Hmm.
We were watching that game and stuff. Man, that was great game, and the fans going crazy. Man, it was that was one where I was like, it's a good.
I'm curious, what excites you about kind of the future and what you guys could potentially build here at Arkansas and what you want to be a part of?
Honestly, the strength of the offense, especially with Coach Petrino, that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to that and his schemes, and just getting to know the guys. I mean, like talking with Tucker and stuff. Man, I'm excited to just get to know the whole team, especially my class.
Well, let me ask you this. We've talked a lot about football. What's life outside? Who is Hugh Smith outside of the pads off the football field? What should fans know about you?
Well, love working out, um, and just honestly just relaxing. Like, because for me, it's these past few years have been really busy. So just getting to relax at home and watch TV, watch sports. I mean, that's a big thing. And then I also like to hunt and fish, play video games with my buddies. So I mean, that's pretty much what I do outside of the football.
And when you kind of, you have a chance, you can sit back and say, wow, what do you hope that you eventually will leave a legacy here at Arkansas? What do you hope that's going to be?
I hope people just remember me as like fun, great dude, and just someone who was really consistent on the O line and did his job, um, and just a great leader for the team.
And then finally, the last question for you is what's kind of the next couple of months going to look like for you before you come to the Hill? What are you going to work on, when it comes to your football skills? What do you want to improve by the time that you get here in 26?
Oh, the biggest thing is just stronger and faster. I mean, SEC is no joke, so that's going to be the big thing. And then just my technique. I mean, always opportunity to get better. So,
Otis, do you got anything else before we wrap up?
I think I'm good, Evan.
All right. I think I
just
am good
appreciate him
too.
coming on.
Yeah, Hugh, big thanks for joining the show. That's going to do it for the Arkansas Football
Yeah.
Recruiting Report for Otis Kirk. I'm Evan Camico. Big thanks to Hugh Smith for coming on. We'll see you guys back here next Sunday.